Have you ever noticed how some women simply stop the room when they walk in? It's not about what they wear. It's not about makeup, curves, or youth. It's something more subtle, more profound, more magnetic. Maybe you've crossed paths with a woman like that. She didn't need to raise her voice. She didn't need to explain herself. Her presence said it all. And maybe you felt it, a shiver, a sudden need to know more, an automatic respect, a curiosity that lingered, even after she was gone. Now, stop and think, what makes a woman like that irresistible? What happens when youth stops being the focus, and confidence, wisdom, and personal power take its place? Could it be that true seduction comes not from age, but from energy? Today, you're going to discover something no one likely told you. You'll understand why mature women, grounded, self-aware, fully formed, have a kind of attraction that rushed youth could never replicate. In this video, you'll learn the 7 secret behaviors that make a woman naturally desired, without effort, without games, without shape-shifting. And more than that, you'll realize that every single one of these behaviors can be learned. You don't have to be born with them. You just have to awaken them. You're about to discover why confidence is felt before makeup is seen, how detachment can be the most powerful form of emotional control, how to craft a style that not only impresses, but reveals your inner essence, why feminine energy is a real magnetic field, and how to access it, how to speak in a way that not only attracts, but leaves a deep emotional mark, why true independence is today's ultimate aphrodisiac, and the silent power that creates mystery and makes you unforgettable without ever having to chase. Maybe you're still trying to fit into standards that dull your light, trying to adapt just to be chosen. But what if the secret is the exact opposite? What if the more you return to yourself, the more the world turns to look at you? Get ready. This video isn't just about seduction. It's about reconnecting to your magnetic essence. It's about stopping the chase and starting to attract with presence. It's about remembering that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be yourself, unapologetically. So take a deep breath. Feel your field. Feel your worth. And come discover what happens when a woman stops begging for love and starts choosing it consciously. Before we dive into these magnetic behaviors, do yourself and this channel a favor. If this message has already stirred something in you, if you've ever felt there's something powerful inside you just waiting to be awakened, then like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because here, we talk about psychology, energy, and real feminine power, always with depth. Oh, and at the end of this video, I'll ask you a question that just might shift the way you relate to yourself. So stay with me until the end. Now, let's begin with the first magnetic behavior. Have you noticed how someone's interest suddenly spikes when you stop chasing? It feels like magic. You pull back, and suddenly, he shows up. You go silent, and he starts looking for you. You say, "Not today," and he begins to value you. Why? Because desire doesn't grow in certainty. It thrives in the fertile ground of mystery. And here's the secret. No one tells you. The woman who doesn't give herself away entirely is the one who lingers in the mind. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding your own value. Women who know how to step back at the right time, who aren't 100% available, who keep a piece of themselves sacred and unreachable. They don't control with words. They control with strategic absence. So here's the question. Are you trying so hard to be present, so understanding, so available, that you've become predictable? Because when someone knows you'll always be there, they stop investing. And human nature has an old habit. We only value what we risk losing. Now imagine this. You, centered, whole, busy living your life. No need to reply instantly. No need to prove you're available. No need to explain yourself, just being. This isn't coldness. It's intelligent detachment. It's the kind of behavior that silently says, I want you, but I don't need you. And that sentence, even if never spoken out loud, is felt energetically. Men and people, in general, feel when a woman is not there to be saved, validated, or completed. They sense it when she's there because she chose to be, not because she needs to be. And that's when the game changes, because detachment doesn't push people away. It filters. It reveals who truly deserves to be close. So tell me, are you being chosen by someone? Or are you choosing yourself every day until someone meets you on the same level? That's the real shift. In the end, power doesn't belong to the one who begs for attention. Power belongs to the one who knows how to say, I don't chase, I attract. And what do you attract when you stand in that energy? Respect, genuine interest, real presence. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover how your personal style can become an extension of your essence, and how it speaks for you before you even say a word. But first, tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed that when you pulled away, someone came running? Or that when you stopped caring, he suddenly showed up? I want to know, and I want other women to read your story and feel stronger too. Like this video if it resonated with you. Subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who needs to remember that detachment is also power. Have you ever seen a woman walk by and you just couldn't look away? It wasn't the dress, it wasn't the heels, not even the perfume. It was the coherence between who she is and how she expresses herself in the world. Her style wasn't about trends, it was about identity. It wasn't just clothing, it was an energetic signature. The way she crossed the street, the way she held her bag, the way her hair moved in the wind. Everything about her said, I know who I am. Now tell me, are you wearing what you love or what the world taught you to accept? Does your image reflect your truth, or is it just a disguise to be accepted? Personal style isn't about being fashionable, it's about being aligned with your essence. When a woman finds her style, she doesn't need approval. She radiates certainty. Did you know the colors you choose also speak for you? Red, power, fire, presence; blue, authority, calm, depth; black, strength, mystery, protection; purple, spirituality, magnetism, intuition. Nothing is random. Everything vibrates. Everything communicates. Even the perfume you wear before leaving the house is an invisible memory you leave behind. A presence that lingers, even after you've gone. Because when your style is authentic, it leaves a trail. Think about this. What is your image saying when you walk into a room? Without saying a single word, is your exterior reflecting your inner strength? Or is there a powerful woman inside you, begging to be revealed because the world can sense, even unconsciously, when someone is living in coherence? And when that happens, the woman becomes a symbol, she becomes a reference, she becomes a portal. And the truth is, no one forgets a woman who dresses with her soul. Have you ever felt it? Like you were in the presence of a woman who didn't need to do anything to attract? She wasn't trying to impress. She wasn't trying at all. She simply was. And yet, everyone around her felt her presence. But what is that? What makes some women attract glances, attention, respect, without saying a single word? The answer goes beyond the physical. It's in the energetic field. There is a soft magnetism, a silent power that only authentic feminine energy can emit. It's the kind of energy that nurtures without self-abandonment, that receives without desperation, that inspires without ever needing to chase. We live in a world that taught women to run after, to prove their worth, to over-explain. But the magnetic woman, she does the opposite. She waits. She chooses. She allows herself to be pursued. And this is not passivity. It's vibrational authority. Have you noticed that the more you chase, the less someone comes closer? And the more you center yourself, the more the world begins to orbit around you? That's not a coincidence. That's energy. It's presence. It's an aligned field. The woman who accesses this energy speaks with her eyes, breathes with intention, moves with awareness. She knows that silence can be more seductive than 1,000 compliments, that a pause in conversation can spark more desire than any declaration. Because feminine energy doesn't live in what's said. It lives in the space between words, in the touch that doesn't happen, in the mystery that remains unexplained, in the calm that disarms, in the softness that heals. And maybe the most important question right now is, have you allowed that energy within you to bloom? Or are you too busy trying to prove yourself? Because when you reconnect with your feminine essence, something shifts. You stop forcing, and you start to attract naturally. The woman who understands this doesn't need to compete. She reigns. Have you noticed how some people speak a lot, but say very little, while others barely speak, yet you can't stop thinking about them all day? The magnetic woman doesn't rush to fill the silence. She knows silence speaks too, and that the right words, spoken at the right moment, can echo for a lifetime. She doesn't talk to impress. She speaks to create emotional connection. And here's a powerful truth. True attraction isn't in what you say. It's in how you say it, in the tone of your voice, in the pause before an answer, in the gaze that holds and doesn't flinch, in the smile that says, "I see you," without a single word. Have you noticed that? Magnetic women use communication as an art form, not to convince, but to enchant. They're in no rush. They know that those who speak too much reveal too much. They speak little, but say everything. And they know that mystery doesn't push people away. It pulls them in. So tell me, are you using your words to express your wholeness? Or are you stumbling just to fill a void? There's a difference between talking and inviting someone to dive into your universe. And the most irresistible women do exactly that. They ask questions that spark thought. They create pauses that awaken curiosity. They know when to speak and when to let silence reply. They leave space. Space for the other to imagine. Space for the other to feel. Space for the other to show who they are. Because magnetic conversation isn't about getting fast answers. It's about creating a field where truth simply emerges. Want to be remembered? Then don't say everything. Inspire, intrigue, enchant. And remember, when a woman speaks with truth, but also with mystery, she's not just heard. She's felt. Have you ever noticed how there's something incredibly attractive about a woman who isn't waiting for anyone? She doesn't need to be rescued. She doesn't live in expectation. She doesn't wait for texts, promises, or crumbs of attention, because she has a life, a rhythm that pulses, goals, dreams, projects, and a glow in her eyes that doesn't depend on anyone's gaze. This woman doesn't chase, but curiously, everyone seems to chase her, and it's not arrogance, it's wholeness. She knows the right man doesn't come to fill a void. He enters a world that's already full, and still, she invites him to add to it. So let me ask you, are you waiting for someone to start living? Or have you already built a life so rich that anyone who enters is lucky to be part of it? Because that's the difference between a needy woman and a magnetic one. The first waits. The second chooses. She has passions, hobbies, healthy friendships, and sacred moments alone. She knows how to enjoy company, But she also knows that silence can be companionship, not abandonment. And you know what's most fascinating? Men feel this. They sense when you have a center, when your life doesn't revolve around being chosen, when your value doesn't depend on how much they validate you. And that's when the game truly changes, because the greatest aphrodisiac is not a perfume, it's not a dress. It's the feeling that you are complete, and that if he chooses to stay, it won't be because you need him, but because you want him. Have you ever noticed how your energy shifts when you're busy being happy? How you attract more when you're not even trying? It's as if the universe whispers, "Now she gets it." So ask yourself, have you been choosing yourself every day? Have you been nourishing your own dreams? Have you been the main character in your life, or just a background figure in stories that don't even belong to you? Because when a woman realizes that she is her own home, she never again settles for being a temporary shelter in someone else's life. Have you ever thought about the power that exists in what you don't say, in what you hold back, in what you choose not to answer, in what you leave in silence, while the other drowns trying to figure it out? The magnetic woman understands something few ever master. Strategic silence is a form of presence. And more than that, it's a form of power, because the more you explain yourself, the more you give away. And the more you give unconsciously, the less mystery remains. And here's a truth no one likes to admit. Desire doesn't survive where everything is explained. It lives in the unspoken, in what still needs to be decoded, in what sparks more questions than answers. Carl Jung once said, "What is not said screams in the unconscious," and the silence of a self-possessed woman screams everywhere. She doesn't need to justify. She doesn't need to prove. She knows true magnetism lies in what the other must imagine on their own. Now think, how many times have you rushed to reply, afraid of seeming distant? How many times did you over-explain, tried to smooth things over, to fix what wasn't yours to fix, when in truth your greatest power would have been to simply stay silent? The woman who masters strategic silence is not absent. She creates space, and that space is uncomfortable for those used to instant availability. But irresistible to those who seek depth, silence is an invitation, a mirror, a field where the other is forced to look inward. And that's why, after being with a woman like that, no one forgets her. Because she didn't rush, she didn't beg, she didn't shout, she was simply felt, and that echoes. So think with me. Are you filling every silence, or letting them speak for you? Are you saying everything, or allowing others to slowly uncover you? Because when you start using silence as language, your energy stops being noise and becomes memory. Now you know, true seduction doesn't live in youth or in the perfect body. It lives in the energy you carry and in the way you move through the world. An irresistible woman is not the one who screams to be seen. She's the one who remains silent and still is felt. She wears her essence. She walks with presence. She says little, but communicates everything with a glance. She doesn't give herself out of need. She chooses with awareness. She has style. She has center. She has a magnetic field. She knows how to speak to the soul. She knows how to be alone without feeling lonely. She knows that letting go can be the highest form of control. And above all, she has learned never to beg for a place in anyone's life, because she already fully occupies her own. Maybe you already are that woman, or maybe you're simply remembering how to return to her. But one thing is certain, women like that are remembered. They are respected. They are desired, because they never dim their light to be loved. And best of all, they choose who enters their energy field. Now tell me, which of these behaviors resonated the most with your story? Have you ever used any of them without even realizing it? Share it in the comments. Your experience might be exactly the strength another woman needs to access. And if this video touched something deep within you, like it, share it with someone special, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. Because here, we talk about soul, truth, and real power. And if you want to keep diving deeper into this universe, go ahead and watch the next recommended video here on the screen, because what comes next might completely transform the way you see yourself and relate to the world. Your journey is just beginning, and you are not alone. See you there.